Leverage. Sorry, I had to raise my voice there. Okay, leverage. Okay, leverage, whatever you want to call it. I suppose it's American pronunciation and so on. I suppose in England we call it a lever. Or do we call it a lever? Anyway, okay, I'm digressing there. Leverage. The main benefit of investing in property, or one of the main benefits, is the fact that you can leverage so much more money. Okay, so if you've got 100 grand sat in the bank, laying dormant, and so on, lucky you. Just think to yourself now, if you wanted to go and pump that into the stock market, you've got to drop in £100,000 in order to obviously control or own £100,000 worth of particular stock, index or mutual funds, whatever it is. If you wanted to buy £100,000 property, and yes, they still do exist, if you wanted to buy £100,000 property, the great thing about leverage with property is you need to put in that 25% deposit, so that's 25,000. Then obviously stamp duty at the time of recording this, it is February 2025. It's a lovely 5%. Who knows what it's going to be like in the future? Might be 10, 12, 15% according to our fantastic government. Anyway, you then got to obviously put in that 5%, which is 5,000 plus your legal fees. And again, whether it needs a refurb or not. But I think what we need to understand is for us to control £100,000 property, especially if you're not doing anything creative, if you're just looking to own it yourself and have that, that equity in it in your name or your company's name, you're needing to put in 25 plus 5, 30, 32-ish. Please forgive my maths, obviously. I know there's always lots of haters willing to comment on a half an hour video where you just made one simple mistake and then that's it. So in order for you to control or acquire that £100,000 property, you're looking to put in a lot less. So let's call it 30,000, 32,000, 35,000. But in 5 or 10, 15, definitely 20 years, that property will have increased in value. So you've managed to then build some equity just with putting in that £30,000 and keeping up with the regular interest payments. Whereas if that was stock, of course, it's going to grow. I think really, from reading one of, please forgive me, I think it was this one, because obviously I always want to make sure that we're keeping our eye on the pulse. Really, I think that one was reasonable one. Anybody's read that? Again, I like reading stuff on Warren Buffett and stuff, but that one just, I thought I'd have a read of that. That one, obviously, I think it mentions the stock market tends to grow on average. I think it was about 8 or 9% each year. Of course, there's peaks and booms and so on, but it tends to over the long term. I think it's grow 8 or 10%. Please forgive me there. However, property will also grow. Have a look into the property cycle there, but you've got to think now, if you've still got that £100,000 that I went back to, which seemed like an hour ago when I started this video, sorry if I'm rambling, you could maybe get 3 properties there if you're putting in £33,500 into each one and control them. And obviously then the capital growth over the time you own them, 5, 10, 15, 20 years, should, if you're playing your cards right, grow a lot higher and a lot better than if you were just to buy £100,000 worth of stock. Again, it's that leverage aspect that we're looking at. Anybody that is obviously a little bit more knowledgeable with property and so on, you might be familiar with, creative no money down deals and so on. So you want to be looking at lease options, which are fantastic. You can arrange to speak to a particular vendor, but again, the certain ticks that they need to do really for you to take control of the property, then agree to buy it at a set time, 5, 7 years down the line at a set price. So you're controlling the property during that time, but also hopefully benefiting from the uplift from when you originally took the keys to obviously the ownership, if you decide to exercise your right to buy, not your right to buy, not your obligation, your option to buy. It's not an obligation to buy, it's an option. So yeah, think to yourself really, leverage. I mention this a lot really again to my mentees. You want to leverage other people's time, money, experience, contacts, anything really. I'm not saying use and abuse. What I'm saying is you want to make sure that utilizing things in your circle, I haven't got any resources, well, try to be more resourceful then. Okay, there is money out there, all right? There is definitely money out there. You might not have as much money as you want to. You might not have built as much wealth as you want to yet. Think of the power of yet there. But there are definitely still opportunities out there. When we do our deep research pretty much once a week, we're always amazed at how many things there are out there. But sometimes we need to pull ourselves back and go, no, do you know what? This is what we're focusing on the next quarter, or this is what we're focusing on the next 6 months, rather than jumping around from strategy to strategy. So just to obviously try and summarize the video a little bit there, you're always going to be able to currently leverage more of your money if you buy property than if you're just going to go and maybe buy a business or buy stocks and so on like that, or even Bitcoin. I don't invest in Bitcoin or cryptocurrency. I think it was Warren Buffett I saw a couple of weeks ago saying, obviously, when you buy real estate, it produces something. When you buy agricultural farms and so on, it produces something. However, what he can't understand is, and again, I'm not too educated on the Bitcoin, the cryptocurrency type of thing, and I won't ever invest in anything I don't understand. Um, he doesn't understand what it produces yet. So again, who knows? Might watch this in a few years' time and think, why did I not put as much capital into crypto as possible? But if I don't understand it, there's no way I'm going to be parting with money. Definitely not. I need to understand it. That's one of the things. Maybe you're the same. You like bricks and mortar because you can see it. I'm not going to say you're going to go around touching it and so on, but you can see it. You know how it works. You're either going to sell it. You're either going to put it as a serviced accommodation where you're going to get guests in. You're going to tenant it. Whatever it is, you're going to multi-let it. You can see the breakdown of how it all works. So yeah, leverage other people's time, other people's money, other people's contact, other people's knowledge, and that includes the mistakes as well. I always hold my hands up and tell all my mentees that work on me, especially those that work with me on a one-to-one basis, the mistakes that I've made, because I want them to learn from it. And obviously, you need to make sure, if you want it to substantially grow, first of all, get a mentor. I know I'm jumping around a lot on this video, but I sat on the fence for way too long. My first business, martial arts school, I opened it in January 2004. I knew about mentors probably around about 2007 or 8, but there weren't that many over in England and so on, or not really the people that I thought, could teach me much. And then I found about this fantastic mentor probably about 2010, and then did not do anything until about 2014 and so on. So I'd left thousands on the table because I was pretty much stepping over pounds to pick up pennies. So you had to always invest in your education. I know lots of mentors say that, and it can be a cliche, but it's definitely 1,000,000% true. The investment in yourself will pay the best dividends and the best return ever. Okay, so if you ever sat on the fence, get in touch. We can have a chat, phone, Zoom, whatever it wants to be, and I'll tell you if I can genuinely help you or not. Because I like to be honest with people, because I always want to make sure it's a win-win, not a win-lose. I need to make sure it's a win-win for both of us. But yeah, good luck, everybody. Keep taking steps further forward. Keep getting up. Keep showing up. Obviously make sure you're working towards your goals all the time. And I wish you all the best. If you think I can help you, then get in touch. Please subscribe to this YouTube channel. They're fantastic. Give us a like as well if you found some value, and have a look at some of the other videos in here. All the best, everybody. Take care. Goodbye.